Hi, my name is Richard Belrock, and I'm the race director for Challenge Almere-Amsterdam. In the next couple of minutes, I'll be taking you through the briefing for the open long distance and the middle distance race taking place September 10, 2022. The presentation will take you through several topics of the race and its preparations, and will prepare you for your event. This is the agenda. So after some words of welcome, start with the history of the race, some pre-race prerequisites, the swim, the bike, the run course, and post-race information that is required for your event. If you have any questions, my teams and our teams available at the venue, at registration or the information desk look forward to helping you to get all the answers to questions you might have. So as said, welcome to Challenge Almere-Amsterdam. My name is Richard Belrock and I'm the race director for this event. Almere has been a host for many triathlon events over the past years. So looking back at some of the facts that we've been organizing triathlon since 1983. That means that we're the second oldest long distance race in the world, and we're very proud of that. We've been have a long history for organizing the European Championship on the long distance. 1985 was the first one, 1991, 1999, 2006, 2014, 2017 and 2019, and this year 2022 we add another European Championship year to this list. We also were hosts of the World Championship long distance in 2008 and last year in 2021. This weekend we expect more than 2,000 athletes to compete over 3 different days of events, with side events starting on Thursday, Friday, and the main events on Saturday. More than 700 volunteers are here to assist you on your race. We do aim for quality, so we want to improve every year on parts of the organization where we can improve. So we need your feedback for that. So quickly after the event we'll send you a survey and hopefully you can give us the feedback that we need. This is my entire team, and from this part already we want to wish you the best race ever. We want to see you at the finish line and hope you have a great race. Also extending the welcome words to welcome our Europe Triathlon officials that will also be officiating the open long distance and the middle distance. Technical delegate from Austria, Fritz Schwarz, assistant technical delegate Michiel van Niekerk, and head referee Dora Rosa. In case of competition jury or protests, the competition jury will look into those appeals. Fritz Schwarz, as technical delegate, will lead that. Martin Bredijk, the Europe Triathlon representative, will be part of it, and also Christy Brouwer, the Dutch Triathlon Federation representative, will be part of the protest jury. Protests on all possible penalties should be filed within 50 minutes of the finish, and there are 30 minutes to support your protest. Looking at the timetable of Friday, September 9. At 11:30 registration opens for all the races, or for long distance races, and also the transition area opens. At 1:30 we ask registration for the middle distance athletes to commence. At 8:30 registration closes, and also at that moment transition area closes. So make sure you've picked up your race packs and have your bike in transition by those times. This is the venue of our event. The main venue is the Esplanade, a turnkey location where start, finish, and registration, transition area, everything is located within a couple of 100 meters walk from the Almere city center. The main entrance is from the city center on the north side of the square, indicated with the entrance race site in the middle of this map. Also important things to note are the registration area inside the theater, the Kunstlinie, and also the bike check-in, the orange tent just under the transition area. When entering the Kunstlinie going to registration, you pick up your race package that has to be done on Friday. It will contain your race number, although I have to say we have some delivery problems with that, so it might or might not arrive in time for your race. If it arrives, you need to wear it on your back during the bike and on the front during the run. There was some information in the athlete guide that it only needed to be worn on the run, and that is information for elite athletes, not for age group athletes. And age group athletes, if there is a race bib in your athlete bag, you need to wear it on the back during the bike and on the front during the run. You receive 2 tattoos and decals for your left arm and 1 for your left leg. A bike number that needs to be placed under the bike saddle on your bike. A helmet race sticker to be placed on your helmet. A swim cap in a specific color for your starting wave. The red, blue and green changing bags and an accreditation bracelet. So I set the 2 decals for your left arm and left leg. When you're wearing longer sleeves, it's also allowed to place them on your lower arm. Place them on clean skin. Remove the clear surface of the decal before applying it. Then place the number on your arm and leg. Press it with a damp cloth or a sponge over the number for 30 seconds. And then carefully remove the paper part of the decal. Don't touch it immediately, wait a couple of minutes before putting your shirt and trousers back on. So when you go into the check-in area, make sure you completed the following checks. Make sure your bike number is attached to your seat post. Your helmet is placed with on your head with your chin strap fixed. The helmet sticker should be on the helmet and the race bib should be close at hand. You will not need your timing chip yet. That will be distributed to you at the bike check-in. So your timing chip you will receive the moment you check in your bike. The 3 different kinds of bags that are given to you. The red bag that will contain all your bike gear that cannot be attached to your bike. So the ground on the bike needs to be clear. Everything going on your bike needs to be in the red bag. The blue bag contains all your running gear like shoes and sunglasses, things like that. And green contains everything that you need after the race. For teams, very important to know that you cannot leave bags in the big entrance hall of the theater. Bags that are left there by the teams will be removed. Bags can best be stored in the big changing tent in the transition area. Also good to know there's no air pumps allowed in the green bags. You can mark them separately with one of the sticker numbers on your sticker set. Going to the changing tent is always possible through the check-in and check-out tent indicated here in orange in this map, with the green arrow pointing to it. So at the end of Friday you should have checked these things. You should have registered at the registration desk. You should have left your red and blue bags in the changing tent. You can still access those on Saturday morning to make the final changes to that. You should have checked in your bike and your helmet in the transition area. And only equipment fixed on the bike is allowed. All loose equipment should be in the bags. If you need a bike mechanic, there's no bike mechanic available in the transition area, but there's a bike shop just around the corner of the Esplanade. Bike shop Van der Linde is available just around the corner opposite the Media Markt shop. This is the current weather prediction about a day before the event. So it might change. The water temperature is 21 degrees Celsius. Formally, a final decision on wetsuit usage will be made 1 hour before the start, but currently it's very likely that the wetsuit will be optional. Weather forecast for the rest of the weather. So there's a chance of rain in the morning. Could be clearing up over the day. Approximately 22 degrees Celsius maximum temperatures. The wind prognosis, some gusty winds, force 1 to 2, increasing a bit over the day, approximately 20 km an hour winds from a west-northwesterly direction. So on Saturday race day, the transition area opens at 6 and the transition area closes for the long distance athletes at 7. Then at 7:45 there's the open series long distance start, while at 7:50 we start with the relays on the long distance. At 8 the transition area closes for the middle distance, and at 8:20 we start with the middle distance in a rolling start. This is a good overview on how beautiful our swim course is in the morning. So pre-start at the swim, make sure that the timing chip that you received at the bike check-in is on your left ankle. The green after race bag should be handed in on the beach of the esplanade. Get ready for your start at the swim start sign at the water side at the beach and pick the right coral for your starting wave. Once in the water, stay behind the line of bodyboards to not have a false start, and it's not possible to have a pre-start swim because it's still too dark to swim before the first starts. Swim cap colors for all the different categories, so remember those and match those with the swim cap in your envelope just to be sure. The swim course is a course of 1.9k, so 1 lap for the middle distance and 2 for the long distance in a clockwise direction. For the long distance, all waves it's a water start, and for the middle distance athletes it's a rolling start. For the long distance as well, because it's a wave start, your start will be on an air horn. For the middle distance you will be started in small groups at a time. The white pyramid-shaped buoys, they mark the turns, so there keep the buoys at your right hand side and go towards the next one. The others in between those white buoys are indication buoys. In case of a false start in the wave series, several horn blasts will sound and the bodyboards or canoes that are in front of you will block the way, and everyone is directed back to the start line to give it another try. Exiting the water into the transition area, follow the yellow lines from the water exit on the bottom of this graph, of this map. So go into the transition area, changing tents, change into your bike gear, and then walk towards the transition area. And to make it fair, everyone has to walk the same distance with the bike in hand, going back and coming out combined. So this way the whole flow is fair for everyone. You exit the esplanade on the far end, for the far right side, next to the hospital, and that's also where the mount line will be. We'll put a green line on the street from where you will start your bike, and you are allowed to bike. In the changing tent, make sure you take the red bag from the bottom of your rack. Take out all the gear that you need on the bike, put in back all your wet swimming gear, and put the red bag back on the rack, and then you can go to the bike. Make sure you have your helmet fastened the moment you touch your bike. Very important. Always have a helmet fastened when you touch your bike. This is a typical picture of our bike course with the windmills. So for our bike course, it's a 2-lap course as well as swim. So 2 laps in total for the long distance, 180k of bike, and that means for the middle distance it's 96k. After the lap there is a split, so at 90k for the middle distance and 175 for the long distance, where you need to make the decision to go for your next lap or go to the transition area. Every 10k is marked with a big sign and keep right at all times, so faster athletes can overtake you on the left. As you can see in the picture of the course, there are some points of special attention. The first one is the most left one, exclamation mark. When you pass under the railway in Almere Port, it's a bit narrow there, so take care. In this first section it's approximately at 10k. We clear it as much as we can, but be vigilant there. The second part is the Knaardijk at about 40k, and in the second lap 135k. You stay on the bike path to the right of the cobblestone road, so make sure you are on that bike path. And then the forest in Zeewolde at 70 and 160k there is some narrow parts with two sharp corners to the right, and the pole that you might have encountered on your exploration tours or familiarizations, it will be removed on race day, and it will be guarded with volunteers. And at the end, once you're back heading towards the city of Almere, this is the split point, just at the dike section at 90k or 175k on your measuring device on your course. There's splits where you go next lap, you keep left to go straight, so that's for the long distance, and the run transition is on the right. This will be marked with big fences, but be aware on this part as you enter back into the city. So as a repeat, this is the bike course again, 90k loops with 4 aid stations on the spread across the map. The aid stations are split approximately every 22 kilometers, and there's a coach area available at bike aid station 1. Location is Gooimeerdijk Oost Dijkmeet, so if you want your coach to be there, they can give you something there. On the aid stations on the bike course, our volunteers will hand you the following items. Have bananas first, then bars by Power Bar, then gels from Power Bar, the energy gels, then sport drink, the Power Bar ISO-active lemon flavor in a yellow drink bottle, 750 milliliters, and finally water also in a yellow drink bottle, 750 milliliters. So listen to what the volunteers are saying and grab the right drink. In case you need a pickup service or medical assistance, we always ask you as well to keep watching out for other athletes as a token of sportsmanship. If you notice anyone in need, then alarm the next volunteer you see. If you can remember the bib number, that would be great. Then the volunteer can get someone to that athlete as fast as possible. There's no tech support driving around on the bike course. It's your own responsibility to fix your bike on the bike course. Coming back into transition area after the bike, you dismount on the far end again of the esplanade, so next to the hospital. There's the dismount line, a red line on the street. So from that moment, you walk with your bike in hand to the transition area. You rack your bike in a spot in the transition area. You walk around the transition area to, again, for fairness, make the same total distance as other athletes. And then you enter in the transition area tent, where you can change into your run gear and start your run course towards the stadium first, out on the left side of this map. In the transition tent, you take out the blue bag, so take out the blue bag from the top of your rack, then you take out all the gear that you need for the run, put in all your biking gear, and then put the blue bag on the rack in its indicated space in the transition area, and then you go to the run course. Got a nice graph, picture of our run course. The run course is a 7k loop in a counterclockwise direction, where every kilometer is marked with a sign. There's a coach station also here available under the Leonardo Hotel, so that is where you are allowed to get your own nutrition. This is an exception in the European Championship, but the officials of the European Triathlon will give those athletes more information in their brief. 99% of the lap is tarmac. There's just one small bit on the far south end of this map, approximately around aid station 2, where there's some gravel. With the 7k loop, it means 3 loops for the middle distance and 6 loops for the long distance. But it's your own responsibility to count your own laps. We will not give any aids for that, But at the end, we can check with the timing mats on the course to check afterwards if you really completed all the laps required for your distance. On the run course, there are several aid stations, approximately every 1.5 kilometers, and they will serve you nutrition in this order. They'll start with gels, power energy gel, raisin bread food, banana, oranges, power bar energize. Then sports drink in yellow paper cups, power bar isoactive, cola in white paper cups, and water in red checkered paper cups. This is the order. The volunteers will be wearing vests as well to indicate what they're wearing. So if you're looking for something special, remember these colors and you should be fine. When it comes to racing in the race, there are some rules in order. So of course the drafting rule, your drafting zone is 12 meters long, measured from the front wheel of the first athlete to the front wheel of the second athlete. In case you are caught drafting, you will receive a penalty, which is a blue card, meaning a 5-minute penalty to be served in the next penalty box. Having 3 times a blue card is an immediate disqualification. As mentioned, when exiting and entering the transition area, you mount your bike after the mount line and you dismount your bike before the dismount line. You need to rack your bike correctly inside its own space and leave used equipment in the bags and not with the bike. So make sure as much as possible that's loose and cannot be fixed to your bike needs to go in the bag. During the race, it's not allowed to use action cameras like GoPros and mobile phones on your bike. And on the run, there's no assistance allowed from guiding bikers. In case an official wants to notify you of a penalty, he will blow a whistle sharply, he will call your number, and he will show you a card, either yellow, blue, or red. A red card means immediate disqualification, and that should not necessarily be preceded by a yellow card. A red card can be given at once in case of serious infringements. So the drafting rules in practice are: overtake quickly, overtake swiftly. The athlete caught up must create the distance and avoid the ambiguous drafting. So don't linger on overtaking, but do it quickly. Don't tempt the officials in making a judgment call based on maybe, but be clear about that and make sure you have the distance between you and another athlete. Penalty boxes where penalties can be served are here. So penalty box 1 is just after the Knardijk section that we saw, the small bike path next to the cobblestone road. And the second one is just before you make the decision to go back to the transition area on the Almere Oost, just before the split. And on the run, it's at the end of the run lap, just before you enter the esplanade there. Then entering the finish line, there are 2 arches, so make sure you choose the correct one for your race. The long distance should finish under the blue arch, and the middle distance athlete should finish under the red arch. This is also for the European Championship race, which shouldn't be in this briefing, but in any case, in those cases it's not allowed to be accompanied during the race and the finish by other people, like your kids for instance. But for the other races we're not so strict. It is possible, but it's very limited, and don't block any others behind you. So make sure that if you want to run with your kids over the finish line, that's allowed, but make sure you're not blocking anyone behind you that also wants to finish. In case you need to go to anti-doping, for age group is not a big chance, but it's possible. We'll do some random tests. We need a photo ID ready for you, so make sure you have that within arm's reach. If you have your timing chip after the finish and you're wondering what should I do with this, you should go to the transition area and pick up your bike. So at the moment you pick up your bike, then you also need to hand in your chip. For the race there are several time limits. So for the long distance on the swim, we close the swim course at 10. It's after 2 hours and 15 minutes of racing. For the middle distance at 10 past 10. For the bike course, we close the bike course at 5:45 p.m. And you're 10 hours in the race, or 2:30 for the middle distance for the final lap. Then the run starts for the last lap, only cut off for the long distance, which is at 10 p.m. So that's after 14 hours and 15 minutes of racing. We close the finish line at 11:15. That means 15 hours of racing for most athletes. For the middle distance, we close the finish line at 4:30. So as well for you, hope you all can make those time limits / cutoffs. Check in, check out. So on Saturday, it is possible to go into the transition area for the long distance athletes, but there's no check-in anymore from 6. For the middle distance, it is possible to register and check in your bikes on Saturday from 6, but be aware that this is a very limited time frame where we don't have full staff to help you with registration, so this is only in emergency cases. For middle distance, we also strongly advise you to hand in your bikes and prepare your registration the day before the event on Friday. The bike check-in closes for the long distance at 7. So at 7 everyone needs to be in there in the transition area. Also for the middle distance athletes. For the long distance, the transition area also closes at 7, and for the middle distance, that's at 8. Checkout, including the pickup of blue and red bags, and checkout into the transition area opens for the long distance at 5:30, which is after the last transition from the bike to the run. And that's the same for the middle distance at 2:30. We expect everyone out of the course, so also then you are allowed to enter the transition area. The check-in out closes Saturday at 11 for the long distance and as well for the middle distance, so you can stay for the party, but quickly after that we need you to pick up your bike. The timetable for Sunday, in the Finish Stadium on Sunday at 11 a.m. there's a big award ceremony with awards for the European Championship, but also for the age groupers on the Open Series and on the middle distance series for per 5-year age group. So that's both for the long distance and middle distance per 5-year age group. For elite athletes, there's only a flower ceremony on Saturday, which takes place immediately 15 minutes after the finish of the third athlete for the top 3 elite athletes, male and female. For the age group athletes, there's a special prize. If you're finished in the top 6 of your age group, you will be qualified for the championship. That's both on the long distance and on the middle distance races. So the top 6 automatically qualifies, and there's a roll down till 12th place in case athletes in front of you didn't take the qualification to the championship. Invitation will be sent normally soon after the race. At this moment, registration is not yet open for the championship next year, but the moment that's possible, you will be informed of the registration possibilities. You can choose to redeem the qualification or pass it on, and then it goes down into the roll down. Some last tips, tricks and notices regarding your race. Don't blindly follow any motors. They may take other routes at certain points, so focus on the arrows that are on the course to guide you to the bike course. Don't draft, obey the drafting regulations for the event. And if you withdraw from a race, please inform a technical official or a volunteer with radio so we can keep track of what's happening with you. There's merchandise available of Challenge Family and Challenge Almere at the Expo in the Challenge Family shop by Athlete Sport World, and that's also where you can pick up your backpack. So we have some additional offers. So there are discounted vouchers for parking tickets for garages in Almere for sale. That's €6 at the bar at the Expo, and there's day tickets for public transport buses for sale, also €6 at the bar on the Expo. Also, it's still possible to get your medal engraved after the finish line for €15. This will be arranged for you. Of course, support is back at home want to track you, so live stream and tracking is available through the website www.challenge-family.live. There's a commentary on the live stream from Belinda Granger and Julian Meinhold. Our local or regional television show, channel, Omroep Flevoland will also broadcast the live stream and support it with Dutch dubbing, so there is also a Dutch text available, a Dutch presenting team for our race visible through Omroep Flevoland. With this last slide, I want to wish you good luck for your event, enjoy the races, and hope you have a good one. See you out there and see you at the finish line. Thank you.
What a day for a race. We could not have asked for better. We've got a 113 kilometres of swim, bike and run on tap. It's what these athletes have trained for, and that feeling when they cross the finish line, well, there's nothing quite like it.